Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow, 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 ow.
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Irreverent Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. This is a glorious June 2nd day, the 2nd day of June. It's a beautiful day. I don't know where you are, but where I am, it's a beautiful day. I can't even tell you the temperature without looking. It's like in the 60s. It's a beautiful spring day. The wonders of the Lord just be upon you. Yes, indeed. I want to thank you all for coming. And if this is your first time joining us, thank you and bless you. May you receive all the blessings that all of our listeners receive in full. Maybe better yet, not just in full, in perpetuity and in bunches and also in cups with a little chaser or glasses or mugs or steins, whatever you drink out of. May you receive those blessings. Lord have mercy. Now, I want to well, you know, I just said if you're a first time, you should know who I am, okay? But just in case you don't, welcome to the Church of Last Resort, okay? I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCMLIX, okay? Yes, Lord. People have also called me the Racy Reverend, the Pervert Pastor, the Vile, Vulgar Vicar of Vice, the Sexy Shepherd, the missionary man, the Deacon of Doggy Style, the Frisky Friar, and usually those things are behind my back and on bathroom walls. To my face, they just call me Reverend, and you can do that too. Since we're face to face, it's a beautiful, beautiful. I just realized my camera's crooked. It's tilted. Maybe I should do this. There we go. I'm just realizing it's not level, but I can't fix it. Can I? I don't want to fix it because the microphone's up there. If I touch it, you're gonna hit it. Oh no, the microphone's not there. The microphone's on my belly. Okay, never mind. I'm going to try this. There we go. Much better. Yeah, you may not even have noticed it, but some of you may have been tilted, trying to fix your TV, and it wasn't your TV, it was my camera. I must have bumped it. Yeah, I bump things a lot. That's a habit, when you have a stomach that gets into a room before the rest of you, you tend to bump into things. But let us begin in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah. Lord have mercy. Thank you. So, brothers and sisters, as we pray together and on each other, please bow your heads unless you are driving your car or your significant other. And if that is the case, just close your eyes and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. Dear Lord, please look after those jurors who delivered the verdict in the Trump trial, the New York Trump trial. Well, there's only one trial going on. The other ones have been stalled because of the Supreme Court, who have this little saying, in God we trust. And so we're not going to do a damn thing. We're just going to trust God to handle it. I think that's how that's supposed to work. And at any rate, bless those jurors. They answered the call of the summons and did their civic duty. And now a bunch of assholes are trying to find out the identities and personal information of the jurors so they can be harassed. That doesn't make fucking sense. Why would you harass someone for doing a job that they didn't want to do, but they were called to do. That's like harassing a minister or Jesus, Nobody harassed Jesus. He was called to do a thing, and he went around doing it. Nobody said, let's put his information out there. Let's dox him and harass him. He wasn't All right. That's not the point. It's still not Christian like to be doing that kind of thing. It's just fucking stupid. So, Lord, protect the jurors. Can I get a summon time? And the living ain't easy. Yeah, Lord have mercy. And Lord, condemn those who dox. Yes, damn those doxers. Damn those doxers to wherever doxers go to be damned. Doxing is just another form of bullying, and we do not like bullies. Not even that much. We do not like bullies. The doxers and scammers belong in a cell with a certain ex-president. Can I get a Teflon Don? See, Teflon Don. He used to be a Teflon Don, but he now is a Teflon Don. Yes, indeed. It rolls off the tongue so smooth. I had to practice that many times this morning, because that's when I thought of it. I did not test it. I don't know if it works. I just said it to myself, and I said, I think I can make that work. And if I didn't make it work, write a letter. And dear Lord, let there be a permanent ceasefire in the Middle East. And while you're at it, lock up Benjamin Netanyahu and Yahya Sinwar for all of the ills that they have suffered upon the Israelis and the people of Gaza. Can I get a da 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 da? Hey, can I get one of those? And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff at MindDog TV. They are truly doing your work and other work on the side that keeps them so busy that sometimes they need rest. And they're not getting it right now. They're helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere. And so they could be anywhere today, but they're here wishing that they were anywhere today. Maybe even in bed, dreaming about being someplace else because they're too tired to go there because of all the shit they've been doing for you and themselves and their families. That's right. So bless the entire staff behind the scenes at MindDog TV. Lord have mercy. MindDogTV.com, the place to go to get your church of last resort gear. And also Father's Day is coming up. So get something for your father or your daddy or your papa. Get something for them from MindDogTV.com. Get an apron, get a shirt, get 2 shirts. Depends on how big they are. We probably have their size there. Get a mug, get a stein, get a water thing like this. A water bottle. Only wouldn't look like this because I've had this for so long. I hadn't gotten another one from MindDog TV, but get one from MindDog TV. Get one of the mugs that I got right there. You can get like that right up there that I put just out of reach, like 8 feet away, just out of reach. Get one of those mugs or 2. Get a set of 4 or metaphor. Get a set for someone you met. There you go. A set for someone you met. Now, and let's have a little bump. A little bump for the Lord. This is a little thing we do every day. Well, I do it every day. You should too. But this is one we do together. It's kind of like communion. A little bump for the Lord. My throat's a little behind my bottle. Just took a while for it to get there. Thank you. Lord have mercy. Yeah. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Brothers and sisters, today's sermon, well, it's entitled Benny and June, June. And when I thought of the title, see, this is a little inside baseball, okay? To schedule the event, you have to call it something. See, it's the same when you schedule a party and you do an evite on Facebook and you invite all your friends. You have to have a description. Okay, as a matter of fact, if you don't have a description, I think it kicks me right on out. I'm not even sure. I can't remember what happened last time I didn't have a description, but it tells you, description. You got to call it something. And also helps with the algorithms or something. It's just some bullshit that I don't understand, but it makes me do it. Okay. And so I said, all right, well, it's the second day of June. And I saw this movie, Benny and June. Let's do Benny and June. I thought that was clever. Had no idea what I was going to write about. I was going to tie the movie into the title. See, because I had the title and I said, I'm going to tie the movie into the title. Then I realized that movie that I was thinking of was Untamed Heart, not Benny and June. I never saw Benny and June. See, I know you're thinking, what? Yeah, I never saw Benny and June, but for some reason I thought I saw Benny and June, but actually I saw Untamed Heart. See, Benny and June is about Benjamin Benny Pearl, played by a guy named Aidan Quinn, and his mentally ill sister Juniper, who's played by Mary Student Masterson. Okay, so brother and sister, they live together following the accidental death of their parents. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I didn't see the movie. I don't know if it was an accident or not. If you saw the movie, you can send me a note saying it was no accident, because I don't even know what the accident was. I don't know if it was like a skiing accident, boating accident, or they accidentally got poisoned by arsenic. I have no idea. I didn't see the movie. Okay, but Juniper joins a poker game at a friend's house and loses a bet. Okay, and that bet results in Sam, played by Johnny Depp. He's like the eccentric cousin of Benny's buddy, his friend Mike. Now Mike is played by a guy named Joe Grafassi. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying it right because I didn't see the movie. Okay, which has nothing to do with pronouncing his last name, but I don't know who he is. So I don't, and I've never seen him, and I've never heard his name pronounced, and I didn't take the time to do the phonic. I don't know. So, all right. At any rate, so now Sam is moving in with June and Benny. Okay, and Benny is he's pissed off. He does not like the idea at all. Like, what? You got that man living in our house? What the fuck? And then, so the next day, let me see. They go to a diner. No, I guess it's the same day. I didn't see the movie, but Sam at a diner with Benny, and so let me see. The next day, Benny comes home and finds out that Sam has cleaned the whole house, and so Benny says, "All right, you can stay. You can stay." All right, so now Sam can stay, but he's not related. And you know what's going to happen. You have an attractive woman, young lady, and a horny Johnny Depp. You know he's horny because you saw him in court with Amber Byrne. Whoever that woman was that pooped his bed. That woman. You know Depp's a freak. You can't leave Johnny Depp alone with your sister. You can't do it. He's a freak. You saw the movies, the Caribbean movies with the boat and stuff where he's sailing and he's a captain and he's hitting on his friend's girlfriend the whole time. You know, even after they get married, he's still hitting on her. You know, matter of fact, he was hitting on anything with a vagina, and some things without. He just the point is, you don't leave Johnny Depp alone with your sister if she looks like Mary Stuart Masterson, even especially if she's like a little slow. Okay, you don't do it. You just can't trust them. But okay, you know. But June, she's helping Sam, Johnny Freak, Depp, sorry, who is illiterate and who was shocked by that. Well, he's struggling because he's trying to write to his mother, okay? And then the two of them go to like a local diner where Ruthie is played by Julianne Moore. She works there, okay? And then she takes them on an errand and then takes them home, okay? And after Ruthie stays for dinner, her car won't start, and Benny drives her home where they, set a dinner date, because, Benny likes Ruthie, but I guess he never acted on it. Who knows? At any rate, so now June is left alone with Sam, played by Johnny Depp, and you know what happened next. They just, that stuff. Yeah, that's what they did. Okay. So that is the movie that I never saw. Okay. I never saw that movie. The movie I saw was Untamed Heart. And that's the movie I was thinking about when I thought I was being clever with the title Benny and June. See, Untamed Heart is a totally different movie. It's about a waitress named Caroline, who's played by Marissa Tomei, and she falls in love with Adam, who plays by Christian Slater. A funny story about Christian Slater. I was working in a town, may have been in Cleveland. No, not the town was in Cleveland. I may have been working. No, it wasn't. No, I was working out of town. There was a bunch of us working out of town, and I could have been Cleveland. Could have been a town in New York that starts with an R. Rock something? Rock? I don't know. But at any rate, I was working out of town, and the waiter looked and sound just like Christian Slater. As a matter of fact, to get a bigger tip, he would because he had a little bit more hair than Christian Slater, he would take his hairline and pull it back a little bit and do lines from Christian Slater's movies. He was good. If Christian Slater ever needed a doppelganger or an understudy, that guy was it, because he knew the lines. Because he was either blessed or cursed with looking and sounding like Christian Slater. Or Christian Slater was on Hard Times and he was pretending to be a waiter trying to get some money and impersonating himself to make extra money. That also could be true. But the thing is, so Adam was played by Christian Slater, okay? And maybe that story wasn't so funny. I don't know. But Adam is an introvert busboy who claims to have a baboon's heart in his heart, right here in that heart cavity, the baboon's heart, okay? And the movie starts out with them being friends and unconditional acceptance, and then it becomes a story about the sex stuff, okay? There's always sex stuff in these movies that they make for young people. I'm not promoting it and I'm not condemning it. I'm just saying if it's for young people, there's sex in it. And if it's for old people, it's got memories of sex in it. So, but there's always the sex stuff, always. Okay, so that's how the story begins in Jim's coffee shop. And I don't know who plays Jim. Jim may not ever be played by anybody. It could be like the Cafe in Alice. I don't even know whose place it is. Mel's place, but actually you get to meet Mel. So maybe it's, never mind. That's a bad analogy, and I shouldn't have gone there. That's why you need to write these things out in advance so you know what you're talking about. So the waitress, Caroline, she is like serves tuna melts and chocolate floats to angry customers. After working all night, Caroline is walking home, and she gets attacked by some people the two men who try to attempt to rape her. And Adam, who's been following her every night when she walks home, sees the guys, and he beats the guys up and protects her and rescues her. And they wind up developing this friendship, which turns into like a sex thing. So now, to be honest, Caroline had already told her friend Cindy, who was played by Rosie Perez. Some of you got there before me. I didn't hear you say it, so I still thought of it by myself. Rosie Perez and Rosie, and she told Rosie, if Adam wasn't so dumb, I'd do him. That's it, And she did him anyway. So I guess she didn't really mean that. Yeah, that little if-then statement wasn't true. So the thing is, and Adam eventually, I think they go to a hockey game. He gets hit with a hockey puck, and instead of going to the hospital, they go home in a taxi, and he dies in his sleep, on her shoulder and her arms. I don't know, but he's dead by the time they get the cat. The last taxi ride. That's it. He dies. So that's how that movie ends. I did not write that sermon because I thought it was a different movie. So I apologize for not having that sermon. So I can't make that point. I can't do it. So what I'm going to do is, while I think of a new sermon, I'm going to have our people in the studio play a little commercial. Give me a minute to think of a new sermon.
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the spring and summer seasons now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
Thank you, brother, man, in the studio. Thank you very much. I needed that minute because I screwed the pooch. Not literally. That would be wrong. Here's the new point that I'm going to make, because the old point was lost before I got started. Okay. The new point is, whatever you do in life, even if no one else recognizes you for it, reward yourself. Okay. And so in those particular two movies we talked about before, the guy Adam rescues the girl. Now that was something he felt like he had to do. Okay. To protect her, all right, but he was rewarded for his efforts with the little, Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this for everybody who helps you, because that could be painful or at least spread some diseases, because I think that's what happened during the 70s and 80s. Every time somebody helped somebody, that's what they did. It's like, oh, you delivered my pizza, Yeah. Oh, you cut my grass. Yeah. Oh, you changed my oil. So, yeah, that happened a lot in the 70s. So I'm not suggesting that's what you do now, but at least if you do something, okay, you achieve something, and even if nobody else recognizes your achievement, reward yourself, okay? If you mowed your grass and your neighbors don't drive by and go, nice lawn, Mr. Reverend Roll, don't get upset. Reward yourself. After you cut that grass, maybe you pop back a cold beer, glug, 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 or maybe do a little weed, smoke some of that grass you cut, maybe just go in and take a shower and lather yourself up and go out smelling nice, attracting, sit on the yard and admire your yard, and then bees and flies would be attracted to you because you smell nice, as opposed to them being attracted to you because you're all sweaty from mowing the grass. Let's say you fix your website crashed, and no one else noticed that your website crashed, or at least they didn't notice that you fixed it. Okay, reward yourself. Pop an edible. Sit back, rub the cat, go out back and play with the deer. Take a walk on the beach. Reward yourself. That's the point. If you repaired your own appliance and saved some money, okay, reward yourself. All right, just say, I saved $200 fixing this myself. I'm gonna put 100 in the bank, and the other 100 I'm going to the titty bar. I don't care if you're a man or woman fixing your appliance. Men and women both go to the titty bar, and if you give them $100, they may go twice. I don't know if they spend ones or 20s or 50s. I don't know. I'm a $20 bill guy when I go to the club. When I used to go to the club, I don't go now because I used to go to Save Souls. I ran out of souls to save. There are no more sinners in those places. I saved them all, so I stopped going. No point. Okay, you cut your own hair to save money after you cut the kids' hair, to make sure that you know how to work the clippers, or maybe a friend's hair. You don't start off on your own hair. Okay, no matter how much money you're trying to save, you don't do your own hair. You do someone else's hair first, preferably kids, because even if they cry about the haircut, you can say, "Shut up! It was free." Here's a popsicle. Go play with your friends. See, so you don't do your own hair first. You practice on someone else's head. But once you get good enough, cut your own hair, save yourself some money. I don't know how much a haircut costs, because as you can tell, I haven't done my own hair for a while. So like in my case, I can do my own hair, but it's exhausting. Okay, so look at this. I'm just gonna little inside baseball. Look at that. Look at that. See that? In each and every last one of these have to be like tightened up. Every last one of them. My arms get so fucking tired. So I don't get to save the $100 a month doing my hair. I could, but I'd have to be in better shape. And the amount of energy it would take to me to get in shape to do my hair, because my arms would be like this, I can't do that. Try holding your arm, your hands like this for 2 hours. You can't do it. You can't. Not only that, you're not just holding your hands, you're rolling, okay, and you're pulling and you're isolating, and each one, and you forget it. You're just not doing it, okay? So I do not have the advantage of cutting my own hair. And like I said, I could get in shape, but by the time I did that, getting enough shape to do my own hair, I'd be dead. Wouldn't be saving any money, and I would have lost a lot of time trying to get in shape for something I didn't do. So, as we say in the hair business, fuck that. Can't do it. But if you do your own hair, you're cool. Save some money cutting your own hair, and then cutting the kids' hair, and maybe make some money cutting your friend's hair, okay? But once that's, reward yourself is the point. Reward yourself, okay? You always want to practice on someone else before you do yourself, okay? You always want to practice on someone else before you do yourself, without exception. Okay, one exception, but this is not about gratifying yourself. I'm talking about rewarding yourself. They're not the same thing, okay? Gratifying yourself and rewarding yourself, not the same thing. So I just want to bring that, make that distinction without a difference. So that's what Benny and June is about. It's about 20 minutes of bullshit, okay? But I had to think of something to say for the beginning of June, and I fucked up because I had a good premise, bad movie. And I don't know how to put it any simpler than that. And for those of you who are watching and I have stuck with me this far, God bless you. Bless you. Now, I want to discuss something that's been bugging the fuck out of me. It's the jurors that have been doxxed, or they're trying to dox them. Okay, it really bugs the fuck out of me. Okay, you know, and all it would take is for some people, responsible people who are a member of that party, to just reach out and say, "Do not dox those jurors. Don't do it. Please don't do it. You know, you're endangering their lives." Okay, I'm asking, don't do it. You're endangering their lives. Okay, because what they did was just their job. You know, they didn't send out notices to be subpoenaed. You have to be summoned to court. They weren't volunteering. You know, they were asked, okay, and inconvenienced. And they were chosen by the defense and the prosecution. Let me repeat that for all you fuckers out there who don't get this. The jurors were picked by the defense and the prosecution, okay? So Trump's attorneys are also responsible for those jurors. So if you want to dox somebody, dox those motherfuckers, because they're the ones that picked the jury, okay? Don't be docking the jurors who had nothing to do with being on the jury. They were asked questions, and I'm sure some of them tried to get off the jury. Hell, 2 of them listen to Fox, watch Fox News, get the news from Fox. 1 of them gets their news from Truth Social. You think that person didn't? If you are the kind of person who gets your information from Truth Social, I'm inclined to believe that you're the kind of person who would give Trump every benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, I don't believe it. And they'd at least had a hung jury, okay? But no, all right? Even that person and the 2 people who listened to Fox News, those 3 people went along and said, oh, it's unanimous. That motherfucker did it. All 34 counts, okay? So if you put together the fact that the attorneys picked the jury, defense and prosecution, and that the jurors didn't want to be there in the first place, but they all agreed on the facts, don't dox them for that. Don't dox them for that. Don't do that. My God, how would the fuck you feel if you did your job and because somebody else was not happy with the results, they put your address out on the streets, your phone number, your address, your family, and all of a sudden, because whatever job you have, if you're pumping gas, if you're bagging groceries, if you're selling stuff at a grocery store or department store, if you're out there cleaning the streets, if you are an attorney, or if you're a doctor, if you do liposuction, it does not matter what your job is. Someone somewhere out there is going to be unhappy with your job, because nobody pleases everybody all the time. I know I don't. And I don't do anything wrong, but people are still upset over me doing the right thing and they're being upset about it. So I know there's people out there who are upset at what you do. I don't care who you are. Someone's upset about what you do. And how would you feel if they found your address, information, and your loved ones and put it on the street, knowing that there's someone else out there who wants to do you harm? And they're claiming, I didn't do anything wrong. All I did was print information. You know, they knew damn well that once they printed the information, what they wanted was for someone to harass you or cause you harm. Okay? And if it were up to me, the person who did the doxing, they'd be as far under the prison as you could get. That's fucking ignorant. They went out of their way to find that information. The information wasn't made public on purpose. The jurors probably don't even know each other's names. When the juror number one signed the document with the verdict on it, he didn't sign his name. He signed it B400 because he didn't want his name out there. B400. The trial was over, and he could put his name out there if he wanted to. You know, he could put his information out there and say, "Hey, book deal, call me," or whatever the people are. I don't know if their name is book deal, but call me. No. Okay, he does not want his information out there, at least not yet. Now, if they decide to write books and they put their names in the books, then you don't have to dox them because their names and pictures will be out there and they'll be doing a tour. All right. But right now, they're private citizens with private lives and private families, and they don't want you to know who they are or where they are. So respect that. Damn it. Don't make me come over there and give you this sermon in person. Aside from the fact that I don't know what I just said, I'd have to listen to it to learn what I just said. You're going to punish me because I want to punish you? Don't punish yourself like that. And don't make me punish myself so that I can punish you. Don't do that. Just don't dox. Save us all the trouble. Don't fucking dox people. That pisses me off. You know? Now, And I understand that there's people out there who say they're concerned about the sentence. They say, well, what about the Secret Service? We can't put an ex-president in jail. Yes, you can, because he's a citizen. He is a citizen like the rest of us. He is not the president. Once the January 21st came around of that year and he got off, he left that helicopter. You know, once President Biden was sworn in, guess what? We only have one president at a time. And that other guy is a citizen. Just like Barack Obama, just like Jimmy Carter, just like George Bush, just like you. They're a citizen. That's it. And they are entitled to no more rights than anybody else. So, yes, put him in jail. Why? Guess what? There was a trial a couple years ago, 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Michael Cohen, during that trial, they put Michael Cohen on trial, and guess what? Donald Trump was listed as co-conspirator, unindicted co-conspirator number one. Okay, and Bill Barr and his team squashed it as much as they could, so that and protected Donald Trump so he could not be in any way held responsible. And then when the Democrats tried to impeach him, the Republicans go, no, don't impeach him. Let the law handle it. Let the law punish him. You know, so everybody was in agreement then. All right, let the law punish him. Well, the law punished him. Well, not yet. They just convicted him. He's not punished yet. Although if you listen to him, he's been tortured his whole fucking life. Poor millionaire. Inherited $400 million from his father so that he could just squander it all away. But that's not what this is about. People in New York know who Donald Trump is, okay? That's it. Be that as it may, when it comes to sentencing, I say yes, sentence him. Give him 4 years, all right? 4 fucking years. Because guess what? Michael Cohen was given 3 years, and some of that was in solitary confinement. And it wasn't for protection. It was because the justice system run by Bill Barr, they just got pissed off at him because he wanted to write a book. So they said, oh, no, you ain't getting no book. And he was actually on home release. He actually was home because of COVID. He was actually home for a while. And then we no, we're going to put him right back in jail. And they tried to abuse his rights. So he was given 3 years. I think he served 13 months. And the rest was under house arrest. But he was sentenced for 3 years. And he wasn't the mastermind. Or he wasn't the leader. Okay? That's Donald Trump. All right? He was also the one who benefited from all of this. He's the one that became president, not Michael Cohen. It was Donald Trump who became president. So he benefited from this. So he should get a greater sentence. The maximum is 4 years. Like I said, Michael Cohen was sentenced to 3. So give Trump the 4 years. Now, as far as serving it, sure. Put him in, give him 4 years, and make him have to serve 2 years under house arrest with an ankle bracelet, but under probation. And if he violates his probation, then he has to serve the rest of the time up to 4 years in an actual prison. Plain and simple. Don't worry about the Secret Service, because guess what? He's not really legally entitled to Secret Service. Okay, that's a courtesy. All right, that's a courtesy. It's not like it's not like it's like voting. Voting technically isn't a right. It's a courtesy. It's a privilege. It should be a right. It should be a constitutionally protected right. But there are ways that people have been fucking us out of that for some time. It's a courtesy. The privilege of not being in jail. The privilege of having Secret Service is only guaranteed by law to the president, his family, the vice president, their family. Ex-presidents, no. That's all up to the discretion of Mayorkas, the head of whoever the head of the Department of Homeland Security is. That's it. And right now it's Secretary of Mayorkas. So if I were him, I'm not, but if I were him, I would say, look, you're a convicted felon. You do not get Secret Service detail anymore. Nope. But I tell you what I will do. We will train some prison guards and have them protect you. We'll swear them in. We'll deputize them. That way they can be Secret Service. But because they were part of the penal system already, they're used to being confined to those places and watching prisoners. So there, you have your protective detail, and Secret Service does not have to be in prison with you. There you go. Case closed. Simple as that. Don't listen. Don't be fooled or sucked in by all that shit that you hear about him being a victim of a two-tiered system. Okay, I can tell you now, I have literally visited people in prison to comfort them. Okay, I have sent money to people's commissaries that keep them, with cigarettes, even though I don't smoke. That's not my vice. My vice, you couldn't put in a commissary anyway. That's beside the point. But what I'm saying is, I've done my time visiting people in prison, trying to cheer them up with jokes and humor and comfort, prayer, holding their hands. Okay, I've seen up close how the justice system works. I've been picked up and arrested, I don't even know how many times, simply because I was a black, I still am a black man. I'm just not a young black man anymore. But when I was a young black man, I couldn't even jog in my own neighborhood without being harassed by police. I couldn't drive through my wealthy friends' neighborhoods, wealthy white friends' neighborhoods, without being stopped by police. Well, no, what am I doing in that neighborhood at 1 o'clock in the morning? It's like, that's when the party ended. If it had ended at 2, I'd be out here at 2. If it had ended at 10 p.m., I'd be out here at 10 p.m. But guess what? It ended at 1, so I'm out here at 1:15. That's why I'm out here. And instead, they harass me. Now, you find a young man who goes to a party with his friends, who doesn't touch any alcohol, who's not an alcoholic. Look, I wasn't in the program. I was just in the car. And I knew what neighborhoods I was driving through. So I stayed sober. I gave them no reason to stop me. They And even if I was driving by, they couldn't have smelled the alcohol in my breath if I had been drinking. Nope. They pulled me over for a bullshit reason. One cop pulled me over because he said, and I kid you not, because I wasn't speeding. Yeah, that's right. He said I was being too careful, like I didn't want to be pulled over. Guess what? I didn't want to be pulled over. That's why I wasn't speeding. He got that part right. Motherfucker got that right. I did not want to be pulled over, so I was not speeding. That's why he pulled me over, because he said I was suspicious in the fact that I wasn't speeding. What the fuck kind of nonsense is that? So if I didn't want to be pulled over, I should have been speeding through a residential neighborhood? Is that what he's trying to tell me? If you don't want to get pulled over, speed. That way you don't look suspicious. If you don't speed, you're going to look suspicious if we're going to pull you over. How about I look suspicious anyway, no matter how fast I was driving? I could have been just parked in my car and I'd look suspicious. So for Trump to talk about the two-tiered system and use it that way, that's bullshit, okay? And even his little black cohorts who are talking about the two-tier system, not just the black, but the minority, Marco Rubio, Tim Scott, and the black congressman from Florida whose name I can't remember, but he was born and raised in New York, okay? Born and raised in New York in the Bronx. Can't remember his name. Smooth talker. Anyway, he just wants to be vice president. It ain't happening, okay? Talking about the two-tiered injustice system, and Trump is, no, he's not a victim. How many court cases did that man have before the Supreme Court? How many? How many do you think you would have gotten? How many do you think you would have gotten? 1, 2? I'll tell you what the answer is. That's what you'd have gotten. You would not have gotten the Supreme Court to hear your case. You'd have gotten screwed on your way there. So the man should be sentenced. Don't worry about Secret Service. Okay, there is a two-tier justice system. He is not the victim. We are the victim. We, people of color, and we, people of not having means, poor people, you're the victims in this, not Trump. Okay, the only thing that he's a victim of is his own fucking ego. Okay, that's it. Now, for those of you who are giving him money, you're not victims, you're suckers. That's the difference. Okay, but you're free to do it. That's your choice. No one is making you give him money. No one is holding a gun to your head, say, please give him money. You're not being robbed. You're just being swindled. Okay? You're not being robbed. You're being scammed. You're not being robbed. You're being taken advantage of. You're not being robbed. You're being lied to. That's it. I ran out of things. Damn. You know, a good minister could have kept that going for 20 minutes. A good minister would be going, you're not being robbed. You're being bamboozled. You're not being robbed. You're being swindled. But I'm not a good minister because I can't do that for that 20 minutes. I can't do it. Lord, I get thirsty just to shit. I got saliva sticking in the corners of my mouth trying to do that shit. I can't. Well, hold on. That's good stuff. I do a bump in the morning, but when I get thirsty, I go for the water. And I have an ice cube stuck in my mouth. See? So I'm going to try to swallow it. As soon as it gets small enough to swallow, right now it's too big to swallow. I'm not going to sit here in silence and suck on an ice cube. I'm not going to try to put it back in the bottle. Here we go. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Do not believe the shit that you're hearing about him being in him. He's suffering, but he's suffering because he made a bed and now he doesn't want to sleep in it. Okay, he's been criming most of his life. The people of New York who know him best. And you best be believing when they know him. That's why he left. That's why he's not in New York. He left New York, moved to Florida, and once he was indicted, the governor, Ron DeSantis, said, I'm not going to extradite him to New York to stand trial. If that's what he wants. What? Find me one fucking Florida man in Florida who committed a crime outside the state of Florida that the governor says, I'm not going to extradite you. If you're a criminal in Florida, unless you're unless you're rich, if you're a poor criminal in Florida and you committed a crime outside the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis will send you out in a heartbeat. Think of all the brown people that he sent up to New York on a plane and a bus that hadn't committed a crime yet. They were seeking amnesty and sent them up there, extradited them to New York in a heartbeat. But he's not going to send one person, Donald Trump, who has his own plane, not going to extradite him? No. See, there is a two-tier justice system. It's just that we are the victims of it, not him. Okay? The same justice system that sent FBI to his home, sent FBI to President Biden's home. Okay? The same FBI that searched Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago searched Biden's home in Delaware. Okay. The same FBI people who had guns on them in Florida, they had them in Delaware. They were treated the same. The only difference is the FBI made sure that Trump was not home when doing the raid. So he and his family were not in any kind of danger, even if they wanted to shoot up. If they had planned on assassinating him, that was the worst plan ever. See, Trump is saying that they were sent to assassinate him. Really? Are these the same people who, quote, assassinated Kennedy? And you think they got worse at their job? You think the government killed Kennedy and King and crashed airplanes into the tower? You think that government that did all that couldn't shoot Donald Trump in Florida? No. See, they made sure he and his family were not there. So there couldn't even be an accidental shooting. They made sure he wasn't there. So stop the bullshit. Stop believing the bullshit. Stop the nonsense. Okay, you don't have to trust me. You should. But you don't have to believe me. You should. I mean, there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. But it has nothing to do with about believing me. It has about me being a real doctor. Okay, I'm not a real doctor. But I am real honest with your ass. And that motherfucker guilty. And that motherfucker lying to you. And that motherfucker stealing your money. Or no, he's not stealing it. He's asking you for it, and you're willingly giving it to him because you're stupid. All right? If Donald Trump was smart, if he were a smart man, okay, he would not have run for president this time around. What he would have done is he would have backed somebody more electable, somebody who probably could beat Joe Biden. He would have endorsed them, thrown all of his weight behind him, and made a little private deal, kind of like Ford and Nixon. And Trump goes, here's the deal. You get elected and you pardon me. Okay? Pardon me for it. And that's what Nixon was pardoned. Now, true, Nixon had to admit that he was a criminal, but he was pardoned. And he spent the rest of his life outside of jail. Now, true, this president, whoever it would have been, would have not have any jurisdiction or been able to pardon him for state crimes like New York and Georgia. But guess what? You got the president of the United States and the Department of Justice in your corner. we can disrupt and 6 Supreme Court justices. You would never. Trump could have delayed it. No, he wouldn't be taking your money. You'd have a president. You Republicans, you Trump people, you MAGA heads would have had a guy in there with the same policies as Trump, the same philosophy as Trump, just not the baggage of Trump. Okay, that person could have pardoned Trump, and Trump's problems would have been over. Because guess what? Even if Trump were president and he says, "I'm pardoning myself," you can't pardon yourself. That's laughable. Okay, that would go to the court. He'd lose. So, but because he's such an egotist and a stupid egotist, he fucked up. Okay, and he's trying to fuck you over. So, that's the man you want. That's the man you want for president. A man who's too shallow to think ahead enough to save his own ass, but is asking you to pay for his ass to be saved. The man who, 9 years ago said, "I am so rich, I'm not going to take a penny of your money for my campaign." And he didn't lie about that. He didn't take a penny. He took hundreds of millions of dollars of your money for his campaign and his lawyers and his sex scandals and his penalties and his, yes. So he didn't take a penny of your money. He took hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Not one penny. That's the guy you want. God bless you. That's your choice. But please don't take it out on jurors, because you backed a fucking felon. Don't be doxing them. Take care of the people who are civil servants, who are just doing their jobs, people who are running voting booths, not the kissing booths. Well, protect them too. Or the John Wilkes booths. Okay, not them. Let's go back. Let's keep an eye and protect our people who are doing their civic duties of protecting the right to vote and helping us vote and doing their jury duties. Because I'm sure not everybody out there wants to do jury duty. Okay, so the few that get chosen, the few that do it, bless them, protect them, don't dox them. Okay, those people who are doing the work that we don't want to do, help them out. Don't make their jobs difficult. Okay, not everybody wants to do that shit. So, having said that, everybody who stuck around and listened, I don't know how many of you there are. I'm assuming it's more than just me and the guy in the booth, the people in the booth. Because actually, I'm saying listening, so I can actually just discount them already because they stopped listening as soon as they hit the theme music. Pen once in a while they'll go, "Fuck yeah!" and then they go back to smoking a joint or eating an edible or playing cards, whatever. Yeah, see, I woke them up. That's okay. They're playing cards, but I thank them and I thank you. Okay, I am. Okay, before I close, I want to spend half a minute on inviting people. If you like this, invite your friends, tell your friends, and have them check us out on YouTube under Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, or Facebook fan page under Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, spelled just like it is in the little crawl there, and email Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll at gmail.com. With your questions, your blessings, or whatever you want. Okay. On behalf of the Church of the Last Resort and the entire Roll family, my wife Amona, my kids Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat Tootsie, our dog Stop Dropping, I wish you safe travels. And whatever you do, don't forget to reward yourself. Okay. And I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox time on Mind Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. Okay. Lord have mercy. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck yeah?
Fuck yeah!